Okay, so I created this video, well, particularly with my mom in mind, because I wanted her to have a way to access a yoga class that would be, well, accessible to her, her body, her abilities. But the more I started thinking about it, the more I realized that this kind of yoga could be for anybody in a desk job, in an office, anybody who has limited space, joint problems, trouble getting up and down off the floor, and maybe anybody who might be a little bit intimidated by going into a yoga studio for the very first time, not as a young 20-something, but as an older person. And it might be a great way to introduce your body to some of these movements with some modifications that make it more accessible for that range of motion. So I'm just going to go through some basics. Of course, you have the ability to do this in the privacy of your own home. That's why I made it. And to see what it feels like in your body. And I'm going to try to give some options so that you can practice the poses I give you no matter what your range of motion is. So all you need is a chair. I'm kind of short, so my feet don't touch the ground, but that shouldn't matter the way this chair is situated. What you're going to do, just for starters, you're going to move your seat and your sit bones to the front of the chair so that your feet firmly plant flat on the floor. Then I want you to pull your spine up tall and relax your shoulders down. So yoga is a combination of breathing and movement. Moving with your breath and letting your breath inform your movement and vice versa. So we're just going to rest hands on the thighs. You're going to close your eyes. And you're just going to let your body breathe and sit here. You're already using muscles in your back to help increase your posture and your awareness. As you breathe, I want you to think on an inhale, long spine. On an exhale, shoulder blades and shoulders sink down, melt down your back. Inhale, long spine, and your spine goes up through the back of your neck. So imagine it coming up through the top of your head. Exhale, shoulders down. So there's a constant cycle of energy with your breath where you're thinking tall, space in between your vertebrae, and exhaling to relax. I've always thought yoga was a really great combination of exercise. It felt like I would work out and get a massage and a therapy session all in one class. So that's what I love about it. So we're working our muscles, but we're also finding ease and peace. Roll your shoulders back. You can feel it in your shoulder blades. You can feel this space right here underneath your clavicles in your breastbone area that expands when your shoulders come back. You can feel it in your scapula, in your upper thoracic spine. Those muscles kind of light up when you roll those shoulders back and down. So if you roll them back, you don't want them to squeeze up. You want to let them stay down. Find ease with each movement. If at any point something is hurting and is causing you discomfort or anger or frustration, check in with it. See if it's something that might be your muscles stretching or your body moving into a pose, or is it something that's causing you pain? If it's causing you pain, I want you to come back out of it a little bit. So just sitting here, lift your toes up off the floor, pressing the balls of your feet into the floor, and then the heels of your feet, and then the balls of your feet, and the heels of your feet, kind of rocking forward and backwards. We're not gripping with our toes. That's why I kind of say take the toes off the floor. You'll actually feel muscles of the feet fire up and energize when you pick up the toes automatically. And then find some space in between the balls of your feet and the heels of your feet. And then go ahead and just gently rest the toes down on the ground. Feeling all parts of your feet connecting to the ground. Still sitting tall, shoulders still relaxed. Inhaling and exhaling. So just simply on an inhale, we're going to move with our breath. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way out and up. Check in with your range of motion in your shoulders. Turn your palms out and exhale them down. So if it feels okay to you, I want you to extend your arms straight. Extend them straight, reaching from fingertip to fingertip all the way out, keeping your spine long, and then exhaling down. You can have your eyes open or closed. Sometimes I close my eyes when I do yoga because it gets me more in tune with my movement and my body. But you might want to watch me, or if I say something that you don't understand, you might want to open one eye and check it out. Inhaling, reaching all the way up, and exhaling all the way down. When you inhale, feel the expansion in your lungs. Feel it all the way through your upper back. Inhale, big, bigger, bigger. Exhale. Now this time when you inhale, I want you to leave your arms up. Now check in with your belly. Is your belly dumping out, and are you putting any weight into your lower back? You might not be, but just check it. And if so, maybe you can rock back towards the back of your sit bones, towards your tailbone a little bit, tucking your belly in, engaging those muscles. You might be feeling it in the outer part of your shoulders right now. On an inhale, reach high. On an exhale, take your right hand, put it on the outside of your left thigh. Think about that. Right hand on the outside of your left thigh. Now your left hand can go to the edge of your chair. Or if you feel real extra twisty in your back, you can reach for the back of your chair. So you're getting a spinal twist. So that same thing that we did when we were breathing in the beginning, we're going to inhale, think long, tall spine. Imagine space being created in between each vertebrae. And on an exhale, you're going to twist and rotate to your level of comfort in your spine, pushing against your thigh, and maybe, if you want, using the bottom of the chair or the back of the chair as a little extra leverage. Exhale. If your neck is cool and doesn't have any tweaks or pinches in it, you can look back over your left shoulder, twisting all the way up into your cervical spine. Inhaling, tall, long spine. Exhaling, twisting. So when you twist, it's important to think long, tall spine before you twist, so that when you do twist your spine, you're not twisting on a curved spine. So you're twisting on a healthy, straight spine. So if just having a tall spine is giving your spine enough of a stretch, then you stay here. Kind of what's good about yoga. Just take your own steps, and everybody does something different. It's not like ballet or a kick line where everybody has to be exactly the same. This is not the Rockettes. This is yoga, which is a personal practice, so everybody's pose is going to look a little bit different. That's why I love it. Go ahead and inhale, bringing your arms all the way back to the front, back to a neutral. And exhale, rest your hands on top of your thighs. Just feel the difference. Notice the difference. I think that's the beauty of yoga and these movements, is when you stop and take a moment and internally reflect on what's going on in your body, and you notice the difference. So you might feel good. You might feel frustrated because you're lopsided. You haven't done the other side. You might feel a little tweak. Just notice that and recognize it. Don't ignore it. Notice it. Inhale, sweep your arms back up. Exhale, twist to your right side. So now your left hand is going on the outside of your right thigh. Left hand, outside of right thigh. Your right hand can go to the outside of the chair. We're still sitting on the edge of the chair, so that there is no tendency to just sit back and chill, because then our spine gets that curve, and we don't want that. So we're really sitting forward on the front of the chair for that long spine. You still have a curve, the natural curve in your lumbar spine, so we're not trying to tuck too much, but it gives it that ability to think and stretch tall. Getting back to our twist. Your right hand can reach for the side of your chair or the back of your chair. It's up to you and your body. So when you reach for the back, and I can tell you for my body right now, I feel this on my shoulder. So I got some joint issues, and I can feel it tweaking in the outside of my shoulder when I reach for the back of the chair. So I'm going to keep my hand down because that doesn't feel good. I can feel it. It's a pinch. It's not a stretch. So since it's pinching, I'm going to come out of it. I'm going to inhale, long spine, space between my vertebrae, exhale, twist. Now my neck feels pretty good, so I can look back over my shoulder. Inhale, reaching long. Exhale, twisting. Inhale, reaching long spine. Exhale, twisting. The reason why I keep saying it is sometimes when we sit in a pose, we start to sink into it like this. So every time we take a breath, it's a great time to think space, length. Am I still where I started? Did I start to fall out of it? Refresh it, revive it, go back into it. And inhale, bring your arms back up to the sky. And exhale, rest your hands on your thighs. So when we're doing yoga on the ground, there is something called cat-cow. So since we're doing work and talking about our spine and our vertebrae, we're going to do that. We're going to do it in our chair though. Cat-cow is sinking the ribs, allowing the spine to curve down towards the ground, and then curling the spine up towards the ceiling like a cat on a fence, you know, especially with the Halloween pictures of the cats. Cat has a curved spine. A cow apparently has a dipped spine. I guess it does actually. So on an inhale, when we're opening and broadening our chest for cow, we're going to press our rib cage forward. You can use your hands on the tops of your thighs to pull the traction back. Pull your elbows back towards your chest. Inhale, cow. On your exhale, you're going to tuck your ribs back towards the back of your chair. I like to reach my arms forward because it gets all the way into the back of my shoulders. Drop your chin to your chest for cat. Belly is tucked. Belly button's going into the back of your spine. Space between your scapula and your upper thoracic spine. Inhale, coming back forward for cow. Rolling and squeezing your shoulder blades together. Rolling your shoulders back. Maybe you lift your chin if that's okay with the back of your neck. Squeezing the shoulder blades. Exhale, cat. Dropping your chin. Finding the space between your shoulder blades. Inhale one more time. Exhale, cat. And come back to a neutral space. So in the beginning of most yoga classes, most traditional yoga classes, I'll put it like that, we start with a sun salutation. So we're going to do a variation of that in our chair, seated. Easy peasy. So it's going to start with an inhale, sweeping your arms up, just like we did before. Find your range of motion. If straight arms straight up above you hurt your shoulders, you can bend your elbows and bring them forward like a goalpost. And I try to keep them right in front of me. But find your space. Find your range of motion, your flexion with your arms. That's an inhale. On an exhale, we're going to fold over our thighs. So this might look different for everybody. So folding over your thighs is just going to mean coming forward. You could slide your hands down to your knees or your shins or all the way to the floor if that is something that is comfortable for you. Your other option is to get a blanket, a blanket or a pillow, which I'm going to show you. So if that is too much for your spine, you can put a pillow in your lap and you can fold over that. It gives you like a little bit of protection and it allows you to kind of relax into it a little bit more, and you drop the top of your head towards the ground. We're just going to breathe here for a second. Every time you exhale, allow yourself to just let go a little. Sometimes we squeeze the muscles when we get into a pose to protect ourselves from going any deeper. But if we keep breathing into it, our body will eventually start letting go and letting us get a little farther into it. Now I brought the pillow in so that it gives you a little space to not have to go so far, but to still allow you to relax. So if you are at work or school or wherever you are and you don't have a pillow, you have elbows. And you can use your elbows to prop yourself up. Drop your chin, relaxing your shoulder, relaxing your neck. While you're here, relax your jaw, keeping your head down. Maybe move it around a little. Maybe shake your head no. Nod it yes. Check in with your neck and the tension in your neck. Keep breathing. So I realize hanging your head upside down for an extended amount of time can become stressful. So at any point, if you get stressed, just pick your head up and let the blood flow back towards your heart. All right, so when you're ready, you're gonna put your hands on either your knees or your shins, and you're just gonna press in, and you're gonna lengthen your spine. I'm gonna turn sideways just so you can see what I'm talking about. So from here, you're gonna lengthen your spine so that it's straight, because when we fold over, we go into that cat back, that rounded back. So we're gonna stretch that space just like we did when we were first sitting and inhaling a long spine, but this time we're halfway down. So that's gonna give you a little bit of stretch in your hamstrings. It's gonna build some strength in your back. That's gonna help with posture. And you're gonna exhale and fold forward. You're gonna inhale, sweep your arms all the way back up and plant them on your knees. So that's a mini sun salutation. So we're gonna do it again a few times. So we're gonna inhale, arms go up. Exhale, fold forward. Grab your pillow if you need it. Dropping your chin to your chest. Inhale, halfway up, halfway lift. So you'll feel that all the way from your sit bones, all the way through the back of your head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way back up. And exhale, plant your hands on your thighs. We're going to continue to inhale and exhale with every movement we make. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your thighs. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your thighs. Last time. Last sun salutation. Breathing with your movement. Filling your lungs up and emptying them all the way out. Filling them all the way up. And resting your hands on your thighs. And just take a minute and check in and see how your body feels. So far, so good? So, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into our hips a little bit. So this is gonna be interpreted a lot of different ways. So don't judge yourself based on what my body looks like doing this pose. I'm gonna talk you through it and you kind of find what works for you. So you're gonna take your left foot and you're gonna extend it. That itself is gonna fire up your quadricep. You're probably gonna feel it right away. Now you're gonna bend it up towards you. You might need to grab it and you're gonna cross it over your right thigh. So your ankle is above your knee on your thigh. So this knee might not want to sit out to this because you'll feel that in the outside of your hip. It might be up here. What I want you to do is feel it in your hip, right? So that you might feel it a ton just like this, which is great. I want you just to feel it. Feel that space in your hip. We're still sitting nice and tall, just like the beginning. So you're gonna start to feel those back muscles are really working, and that, again, that ties in with your posture and strength of your core and all that kind of stuff. So now we're also getting into our hip. So this might be what feels intense to you, and then that might be your edge. That might be your, yep, I'm stopping here. If you wanna start to drop your knee closer towards the ground, obviously you can do that. Now this foot that's crossed over, we're gonna flex it. So that's gonna fire up and energize and ignite these muscles right here all along your shin bone, and make sure that your knee is nice and safe and nothing happens to your kneecap. So if there's anything in this that's starting to hurt you, we have more options. We can start to extend this leg in front of us and bring this knee up here. We can use our arms to hold the knee, or you can just simply cross your legs if that's feeling it enough in your hip. Now, if crossing it down by the shin is better for you, you can do that as well and start to drop your knee. Your body, your movement. Just try it. Try them all, and then see what fits. So if it's here, you're still flexed, because I still want those muscles turned on and working. That's part of process. So sitting tall, again, finding your, we're going to call this a pigeon. This is a pigeon pose. This is a seated pigeon pose. I'm going to bring my knee back up here, and we're just going to sit tall. That's all we need to do right now. Inhale, exhale, relaxing the shoulders, just like the beginning of this journey. Now, on an inhale, we're going to reach our arms up. On an exhale, we're going to do the same thing we started with, which is a twist. So that means your right hand is going to the outside of this knee. Your left hand can find the base of the chair or the back of the chair. Inhaling, long spine, exhaling, twist. Inhaling, long spine, exhaling, twist. Stay there for about 3 of your breaths. Come back to the front. Inhale, reach your arms up. Now, exhale, you're going to take this leg straight out. There's a lot of options here. I would like for it to be off the ground because that's what's going to fire up. I would like for you to try and drive your heel out away from your body. So that's lighting up the whole bottom of that leg, and your toes are coming back towards you. So we're finding all that space. You're finding space under your ribs. You're finding space all along the back of your legs. You're stretching that muscle. You're strengthening the quadricep all at the same time. Whenever you're ready, you can put your heel down. You can bring your foot back in and lower your hands to your thighs. We're going to do the other side. So you're going to extend your right leg. You're going to find your pigeon pose. It could be here. It could be up here, here, here. Try them out. Take a minute. Notice that there's a difference from your left side to your right side. I had to think about what side you were doing first and now doing. So, find the pigeon on your right side. Inhale, sit nice and tall. High up on those sit bones. So, shooting up through your sit bones, from your sit bones, up through your body, through the top of your head. Just sit here and let this be for a second. Inhaling, tall, exhaling, relaxing. Another thing I want to point out is our mind wanders. Just as a human being, our mind wanders. So as your mind starts to wander, and you start thinking, ooh, I should be doing this or that, or dishes, or I have this or that, or my phone just rang. No, I want to go back and finish the class. Yes, you do. So what I want you to do is just notice when your mind wanders, come back to your breathing, come back to your body, come back to what you're learning. Pigeon pose. So I'm actually lighting up the bottom of my foot by lifting my toes up off the ground. You don't have to do that, but I like the energy that it gives my foot as we do this, because I'm energizing this foot by flexing it, so it just feels nice to do both. You might want to try it, see how it fits, use it, maybe not. Inhale, arms go up. Now you're twisting to your right side. So you're going to take your left hand to the outside of your right leg. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, you're going to twist. So your right hand is either coming to the outside of your chair or the back of your chair. Inhale, find that space. Give all your lungs, your ribs, your upper back that space. When you inhale, so much space. And then exhale, twist. You might even get a pop out of it. Pop out of your spine. So when you twist, check back in with your shoulders, just like in the beginning, to make sure that they haven't crept up here and that they are actually still down. So in every pose, even though we're energizing our muscles and stretching or strengthening our muscles, we're still trying to find some kind of ease and peace somewhere in our body as we do it, and our mind, always our mind. So just think about it. So I say inhale, long spine, exhale, twist. Relax into your shoulders. Maybe roll your head, get into your neck muscles a little bit. Rolling, stretching that stuff out. And on an inhale, you're going to come back to the front, reach your arms up, and exhale, extend your leg. Shooting that heel out as far as you can, pushing it away from your body. You're going to feel it along the back of that thigh, along your hamstring. You're gonna feel your quadricep muscle. It's gonna be nice and warm. You're gonna reach up taller, giving that space in between your ribs and your hip bones. Your shoulders are gonna sink down. Inhale, maybe you can lift up a little bit more in your leg. Maybe. If you say, no, I can't, then maybe today you can't. But maybe you can. Inhale. Exhale, plant your foot, plant your legs. Go ahead and fold back over your thighs. Wherever you're comfortable folding, even if it's all the way down to the ground. And just take a couple of deep breaths right there. So when we do sometimes poses that are intense, and I think sticking that leg out gets pretty intense with a lot of muscles, it's good to just let the body kind of like absorb and recover before we move on. So sometimes in a yoga class, we'll do a child's pose. This forward fold is similar to that. You're welcome to rest your elbows on your thighs, like I said before, and drop your head down. Chin to your chest, top of your head sinking towards the ground. Just make sure that you're giving your neck some space and that your shoulders aren't sinking up or creeping up or squeezing up towards your ears. So now we're going to stand up. So that's it for the seated part. We're just going to stand up and do a little bit of balancing and a little bit of stretching in our side body. So you're going to stand up and you're going to come behind your chair. I'm going to turn it sideways just so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to put my hip towards the side of my chair. My chair is going to be here for balance, basically, and that's pretty much it. I'm just going to take my left hand and I'm going to reach over my side body. I'm going to reach all the way over. I'm going to give myself a big stretch all along this part, everything from my hip to my underarm, to my armpit. Reaching, reaching, reaching. You can look up if that feels good with your neck, or look down if that feels good. Your hip is almost moving away from the chair. Your shoulders are away from your ears, so check in if you're squeezing. And you know what? If this is a big stretch for you, this is your stretch. This is all I want you to feel. I want you to feel these muscles. Wherever you feel it, and you really find your edge, so go as far as is comfortable for you, and then stop, and then you breathe. So we're going to go back to that same breath. We're going to inhale, thinking about length in our spine, and exhale, relaxing. Inhale, finding that length along your side body. Exhale, just relax. It's going to be over now. Come back up, shake it off. And then we're going to switch sides. So I'm going to swing my chair over so I'm still facing you. You're going to plant your other hand on the chair. Your feet are parallel. If it feels better for you to have your legs a little farther apart, if that feels better on your hips, or it gives you a little more balance, then by all means do that. What I want to make sure you're feeling is that stretch in your side body. I feel it already just doing this. So I want you to reach that right arm up and over, shoulders down. Your right hip is going to go out and away from the chair as you start to lean over. Maybe you look up. Maybe you look down. Breathing space. Exhale, relax. And on inhale, come all the way back up and lower your hands down. All right, so the last thing that we're going to do with the chair is we're going to do a tree pose. So you're going to continue to use the back of the chair. You're going to put your hip next to the back of the chair. And then you're going to take your left knee and you're going to point it to the side. Your heel is going to come just above your right ankle. So this is like, just like in the world, there's a bajillion different kinds of trees. In yoga, in one yoga class, let's say you've got 20 people, there's going to be 20 different types of tree pose. So just remember that, just like every pose in yoga. I'm going to give you some options. Try them on, figure out what you like, what works for you, and we'll go from there. So this is option number one, and I want you to try this. Now your hand is going to be another option for you. So just like putting together an outfit. You're going to pick out a pair of pants, and then you're going to pick out a shirt. So first we're going to work on the pants. The pants is what are our legs doing in tree pose. Well, they might be doing this, but you could also bring the bottom of your foot up next to your calf, below your knee, but above your ankle. Your knee is still driving out towards the side. So that's really something you're gonna probably feel, you potentially feel, in the outside of your hip, right? So figure out which pair of pants you're gonna choose today. These are the two options I'm gonna give you. There are other options in tree pose, but since this is introduction to yoga, we're gonna start with these, and I'm just gonna assume that you're a beginner. If you're not a beginner, you know where else you can go with your tree pose. Feel free to go there. So now, what kind of shirt are we gonna wear? So we have an option to have our hand on our hip. If that helps you balance, then by all means, that is a great one. You can put your hand over your heart. I think this is really nice and centering. I like to feel my heartbeat when I do this. You can also reach your arm up like the branches of a tree. So just take a moment. Your chair is here to hold you right now while you explore your balance. So now I want you to put some attention on your belly and your core. Now I want you to bring that in. That's going to probably affect your hips. You're going to feel a little bit of a tilt in your hips. You're going to feel an opening in your standing leg, and your spine's going to be able to get a little longer. Your shoulders are still relaxed and peaceful, with plenty of space between your shoulders and your ears. Your eyes are very important in tree pose, as it's going to help you balance. So what you want to look for is a focal point. You're going to look for something, you're going to look at something that's not moving. You're going to find that, and you're going to focus on that while you find your balance. While you're focused on that, you can start to take your other hand off the chair and find your balance. You're going to feel all those little balancing, stabilizing muscles in your feet and your ankles are going to start to work. The chair is here if you need it. You can play the balancing game where you let go and you grab it, and you let go and you grab it. You're going to probably feel your standing leg, the glute, is going to start working. So the outside of that hip, the back of that standing leg hip, the outside of the hip of your bent knee is going to feel something because you're keeping that knee traveling back out to the side of your body. So it takes some muscle to keep that foot out there. And you're finding your balance with your focus point. Take a big deep breath. Inhale that long spine that we've been working on the whole class. And then exhale, bring your knee back to the front and plant your foot down. Feel the difference between your legs for a moment. And then we're going to switch to the other side. I'm going to move my chair again. All right. So now you're going to take that right knee and you're going to turn it out to the side. And this might be your tree. If this is where you found balance on the other side, it may or may not be where you find balance on this side. That's the interesting thing about our bodies and our right brains and our left brains. Sometimes one side of your body will have better balance than the other. Sometimes it'll have better balance from day to day, and then sometimes it'll switch. And if you were really good on your right side balance yesterday, it might be your left side that's strong tomorrow, or whatever. It's always different and always changing. So just explore it and notice it, and just be mindful and kind to yourself and not judgmental, so that if you are struggling with balance, that you don't judge yourself, you don't get frustrated. It's like an experiment with your body. You're just learning, and you're just figuring out, oh, okay, balance is really good for me, or balance is really tough for me. I definitely want something to hold on to. That's something that we explore when we do these poses. We learn about ourselves, and then we don't really have to change it so much as just know about it. We're not really looking to change it. We're just looking to learn more about ourselves. Through our movements and our activities that we do in yoga, we will find some changes and we will find growth, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. So going back to our tree pose. So we can lift it or keep it as a kickstand with our toes on the ground. So I want you to notice something about this hip right here. Standing like a teenager, what I call a teenager stance. My hip is sticking out, and it doesn't feel so good on my hip because my joints are not happy and friendly with me these days. So I have to make sure that I'm lifting up out of that and going straight up through that. So check in, see if you're dumping. I hate to use the word dumping. Dump is a word, but You don't want to sit into that hip. You don't want to weigh into that hip. You want to lift up out of that hip, and that's going to keep that joint from hurting, and it's also going to build more muscle in your leg when your muscles have to work to keep you up and you're not just like sliding into something. So find your tree pose, your pants of your tree pose, and then find your shirt of your tree pose, and then find your focus point of your tree pose. Breathing. Continuing to use all those toes and stabilizer muscles as you find your balance. If you've taken your hand off of your chair, your stabilizer muscles and all those little parts of your foot and your ankle are going to work whether you hold onto the chair or not. But that is something I want you to notice. And then I want you to notice your muscles working. Maybe the outside of your right hip because your knee is driving back, pushing out to the outside of your body. Don't let it start to sink towards the front. Use those muscles to bring it to the outside of your body. Still inhaling, long spine, pulling up out of your hip. Exhaling, bring your knee to the front. Shake it off, shake it off. So that is tree pose. So what I've introduced you to in this yoga class has been the basics. It has been sun salutation, seated sun salutation. We did seated pigeon pose, and we did tree pose with a chair, with a prop to help with our balance. But what I'm also going to teach you is Shavasana. So yoga ends relaxing. It ends with corpse pose. It ends with doing nothing. So I'd like to invite you, I'd like to ask you to do nothing for the next minute. Now that's not something we get asked very often. So please take this minute to let all these moves and stretches and poses just kind of soak in. Just enjoy the way your body feels now. You're done. I'm not going to make you work anymore. You've done the work. Now it's like you've done all the exercise. Now it's time for the dessert. So I want you to sit back in your chair now. Your feet don't have to touch the ground, but I want you just to relax them. I don't need to squeeze them or cross them. Just relax. I want you to just let your hands just sit comfortably and gently on top of your thighs. Your shoulders are down. Your feet are relaxed. The backs of your thighs are relaxed. Your arms, you don't have to hold them up. Go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to inhale, big inhale through your nose. I want you to sigh it out. Exhale through your mouth. That's the let go. That's the release. We honestly need to do this all day long. We run into, anytime we're in traffic or conflict of any kind, it's a really great way of just releasing the work we've done, the exercise, the stress, the anxiety, the overexcitement. It's just to help calm us. So inhale through your nose. One more time. Keeping your eyes closed, big inhale. Now sigh it out. Feels really good. Keep your eyes closed and let your breath go back to its regular rhythm. Allow your body to be heavy, cradled and held by your chair. Allow your brain to be present in your body in this moment. Soaking up the extreme privilege of doing nothing. We are a society of glorifying the busy and praising people who are constantly doing something. But there's so much to be said for allowing ourselves a minute or two to do nothing. It is physically, mentally, and emotionally healthy. And it's just a minute. So recognize your thoughts, notice where they are, and just gently, non-judgmentally bring them back to right now, to this moment, to your chair, to your breath, and your body. I hope that you have enjoyed this chair yoga class. I hope that your body reaped the benefits. I hope your mind reaped the benefits. I hope that you try it again that you see what it's like the second time around. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's the same. Maybe you like it more or less, whatever. But just give yourself a chance to explore it and explore what it feels like to you in all the different ways. And you don't have to have a lot of space. You don't even have to do the whole thing. You can do bits and pieces at a time. It's just an introduction for your body to start feeling what some of this stuff feels like in a really accessible way. I'm not making you get up and down off the ground and do the splits. We're just going to start with the ABCs before we start reading Jane Austen, right? So this is the ABCs. I'm not sending you off into headstands. So be easy with yourself. Take some deep breaths. Feel free to take that exhale through your mouth all day long if you need it. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.